Hey guys, it's me, EOD Gamer here. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you thousands of dollars of experience worth potentialing in MapleStory and some tips that I have, some mistakes to avoid. This is my comprehensive guide of thousands of dollars collectively worth of experience. As well as 20 years of experience in MapleStory, I'm going to be sharing with you everything that you need to know about potentials. Now, first things first, what exactly is potential? Why is it so good? The reason why potentials are so good is because you are able to get very, very strong lines. For example, you can see here boss damage, defense ignore, a lot of magic attack as well to help you increase your damage many fold. Let me just show you in perspective what it looks like if you have nice potentials. If I take off my emblem over here, which gives me, now you can see the range is like 4, 3, 5. Just taking this off, 1 second, let me just unequip this. If I just take this off, you can see I drop by about 50%. My damage increase is 50% if I slap on this emblem alone. If you look at the stats alone, without the potential, it is just 2 attack, 2 magic attack, and 10 intelligence. But if I slap this on, it increases my damage by almost 50%. That is a crazy amount. So potentials make a massive difference to your damage. And if you're running around with items like this, for example, I have roughly around 30% INT. The difference between a strongly potential item versus a naked item without any potential could potentially be 30% each item. So collectively, you add up like 10, you take these 2 rolls over here, maybe you already have 300% intelligence bonus versus someone that doesn't. You multiply that by 2, you could potentially be having like 600% more than someone else that doesn't. So potential adds up over time. It's very expensive to buy as well. That's why potentials are very desirable. Now, basic overview out of the way. Specific to MapleStory, and there is a new thing that is different compared to old MapleStory, and that is the cost is scaling with the amount of cubes that you use. So, what do I mean by that? If you notice here, for those of you who play regular Maple, this is super different. So those of you who play very long, you might not be able to understand this as well. So this is something very new. You have these power crystals that basically, if you want to potential your item, you need to purchase these power crystals. It's not items that you get in game. All you need to do is just exchange it for mesos. So for example, right now I have 142,000 mesos. I can exchange it. Don't bother about anything. It's just like how much you want to exchange. They help you make it easier for you to do. So now I have 150,000 power crystals as well. You can use these power crystals, which are essentially Nesso, to upgrade your potentials. And right now you can see here there is a cost associated with each of these items. For example, power crystals required to upgrade this item here, if I use a black cube, is 39,000. You can see that there is also a cost attached to it. What this cost is basically the more people are cubing this particular item or this group of items, the more expensive it is. So right now we see currently at this point of time, more people are maybe slightly pushing up. It was previously 34,000 just like a couple of hours ago. Now it's going up. Is now like approximately 40,000. So you can find the best prices as well. You notice that if it's closer to midnight on UTC plus 0, it tends to be cheaper and it gets more expensive and stuff like that. You can draw a certain conclusion or whatever it is, however you want. That is just some tips that I have for you, for those of you who want to look at this graph. We will do more detailed studies on the graph and charts later on. This is just a very basic guide for you guys to understand. So you can check out every single cost over here, how the trend is like for every single item. You can even switch the cubes around to red cubes. So you can see the price of red cubes. You can see the price of bonus potential cube for this particular item as well. One important thing to note at this point is the more you cube, the more expensive it gets. And you see this 4 seconds left chart. Notice this number over here, this 39. It just changed and it will tell you whether it's getting cheaper or more expensive. If more people are cubing at that point of time, it gets more and more expensive every minute. If no one is cubing, then it gets cheaper and cheaper. It slowly comes back down. So it's a demand and supply kind of thing. So when everyone is late game, everyone's end game cubing, you can expect the prices of this to skyrocket because everyone is trying to cube the exact same thing as well. Different cubes also have different prices. So you can see your black cube is 39,000. You have your red cubes, which is 17,000, and etc. All your cheaper cubes are also different price. If you want to go for tiers, if you're trying to tier up from Epic, perhaps you have an epic item over here and you want to level it up to unique, legendary, it's a chance. You have a chance of increasing it if you are using a black or red cube. You can see here, you can get red, rare, epic, unique, legendary with these. So the ending 3 cubes are the ones that you can get every single tier. The chances are very, very small. I have a video in the pinned comment below where I show you live practice. This is just theory, of course. If you want to see some live practice for what it actually looks like, how much money it actually costs, that is besides the point of this video because there's more of market dynamics. It changes over time. If you want to check out an example of that, I spent thousands of dollars doing a cubing session. You can check it out as well if you're interested how I got all these and the prices too. Because those stuff are quite important to know so you know exactly what's the value of a potential line. But now, the guide, how do we do this? So let's say I want to use a black cube right now. The difference between the 4 cubes over here is occult. Let's use a simpler example here without something that's already legendary. You can see here, occult is 5,000 just to slap on an occult cube. When you do this, you cannot choose which one to keep. You will automatically always go into the next result, and same for bonus, same for red, and same for potential cube. Every time you press, you will just rotate it. The only one that you are able to select left or right is your black cubes. This is really great, especially if you already have something that is really strong. So let me just do a very quick, easy demonstration. For example, I want to find something that is a nice one that I want to roll. For example, I have this boot here. Let's just roll this. So now, let's just say I want to change this instead of INT. Okay, wait, let's just get this one. That was pretty decent. Let's get this one instead. If I want to change this from one end to the other end, what it just generally looks like is like this. It will convert over and automatically it will take the next phase stats. This is the same for occult cubes, bonus cube, red cubes, as well as bonus potential cubes. And of course, if you use a bonus occult cube, you can see it only goes up to the highest tier of rare, so it will never become epic if you use a bonus occult cube. I have to use a bonus potential cube, which costs us a lot more money. You can see the relative. One is 11,000, this one is 38,000, with a chance of it going into the next tier. Again, I cannot select left or right, so hopefully you don't have a really, really OP line as you're trying to do this, trying to get it a tier up. The chances are quite low to tier up, just want to say that. But the difference is if you have a black cube, this is the only cube you can see allows you to select which one that you want. So I'm going to show you over here. I'm going to click enhance, and now you can see it tells you which is your attack is better, which is worse. Obviously, this one gives me a bit more higher attack because I am a magician. I don't really need the dexterity, so I can select this one. It keeps this one as well. This is great, especially if you're trying to level up your gear from unique to legendary, epic to unique, or perhaps you already have a decent enough line like the one I have here, and you're trying to find the next stat as well. So again, not that great. I'll just select the one on the left. This is, of course, pretty excellent. So that is in a nutshell how upgrading works, how going stuff works, how you can shift your potential as well. The last thing that I want to talk about is, this is really important and it's unique to MapleStory End as well. For those, this is just a bonus for all of you who are sticking to the end. Importantly, every item has a different upgrade cost. Some items, for example, like your neophyte stuff, are actually not too expensive to upgrade relatively. It's like 19,000, you can see here. This ring, 19,000 to black cube. Whereas if I show you something like a Dominator Pendant over here, to use the same black cube, it's 19,000 versus 85,000. So it's 5 times more expensive to get a legendary line on a Dominator Pendant versus a Neophyte ring. So very different prices. Every item has different costs. So you need to factor that in terms of your valuation of how expensive legendary should be. For those of you who do not have these items, a simple quick fix here is going into the marketplace. You can search for whatever item you're searching for. In this case, I searched Dominator Pendant. Just click on any random one that you're looking for, and you can come down into trade history here, click on all items, and click see all. Once you enter this navigator page, you can easily just come into this section here, go into potential, and choose the cube that you are desiring to cube. You can select black cube, for example. It shows you the chart over here. 87,000 is the cost to black cube currently in the last 20 minutes. If I rewind to like the past 1 day, for example, you can see the price trend of the cost to actually cube your Dominator pendant. This is very, very expensive, 85,000, and you can compare it to other items in the game to see what is the price, how much is the valuation of a legendary and unique epic line and stuff like that. Very, very important because it starts to give you an idea of how much these items are worth versus what happens if they are only just a unique and legendary and unique. What is the difference in valuation of this and this? It teaches you all of that. If you want to know more and make money from it, you will want to check out the video in the pinned comment below where I show you the live practical demonstration as well, which is really, really important if you are new to MapleStory and crypto games specifically. And thank you guys again so much for watching. See you guys in one of these two next videos.